So here is how we do real conditional programming. It all begins with the keyword if. And if is followed by a opening and closing parentheses. Now, inside this parentheses has to be some sort of expression which will give out, which will yield either 0 or false, or true, or any other type of number. You can think of it like in this parentheses there is an invisible Boolean variable which, as I explained, can have either true or false and equally 0 or any other value, even -1 and stuff like that. So inside these parentheses goes some sort of expression, like we will show soon, which will either give us true or false. So just to illustrate, let's say that we typed in some sort of expression which gave us true. So now that our expression evaluated as true, we will type our branch of code that it is going to happen since our test succeeded and the expression was true. So let's say we do something like int x equals 9. And then we have our semicolon, which completes for us the if command. The if command is not an expression in and of itself, which means you can't have a variable which will assign itself to the if statement. This is called a statement. As I mentioned in a different video, there are different types of groups of commands in C++. Some of them are called the preprocessor commands, some of them are called expressions. This if command is called a statement. The core ingredients of an if statement is the keyword if, the parentheses, the expression which evaluates either true or false, and then we have our stuff to do if it's true, and it is finished off by a semicolon. Now, if you need, you could just leave it like that and then continue on with life as normal, or you could continue and do another step, which is the else statement. As you can imagine, else means that if this expression did not succeed, if we failed to have this as true, so then we will do something else. Int x equals 8, let's say. So again, if you don't want it, you don't have to have a else statement, but if you'd like, you can have the else statement right after your if. Remember, every else has to be matching with a if. You can't have a else just like that in the middle of nowhere. It has to be right after the semicolon of an if statement. And it in and of itself has to finish also with a semicolon. Now let's test a real expression. We need to have a way of testing numbers against each other and variables and different stuff to test if our expression will be true or not. For example, let's say we're having a guess my number game. So we have our hidden number, which we'll set to, for example, 76. And then let's say the player typed in already his number, so we're going to have a different variable called the player's guess. Let's say the player's guess is 50. Now that we're making our guess my number program, we want to know whether player guess is correct. Did the player get it right? Did he guess my number? How do we evaluate if this equals that? We have to have some way to compare variables against each other. There are a whole bunch of operators which we use to do such things. The first one we will learn is the equals, or the logical equation operator, which is twice the equals symbol. So what we do is we want to test if the number equals the player's guess, or we could do it the other way around. It'll be the same thing at this point to test if the player's guess is the number. So what the logical equation operator does is it tests if whatever this is has the same value as whatever this is. So if it's a number, an integer we're talking about, first it will test if both of these are the same type so that we can compare their stuff together, and then it will test if his integer number is the same thing as his integer number. If we're dealing with characters, he will check to see that both of these are characters, and then it will try to see if they're both equal. Or if it's a floating point number, same thing. What this does is it tests if both of these are equal, and it expresses, it gives out, it yields either true or false. It's like this in and of itself is a little if statement, because what it does is if both of these things are equal, it'll give me true. If both of these things are not equal, it will give me false. And that's exactly what we need to have inside of this parentheses. We need to have something evaluating to us true or false. And if it is true, we will see this happening. If it is not true, we will see that happening. Let's test it out. If it is true, if they are both equal, we will see on the screen they are equal. And then let's push it to next line. Then if the evaluation fails and they're not equal, then let's print out not equal. Okay, let's see what happens. Compiling. Oops, I got an error because I have a uppercase U over here, and over here it's lowercase, and don't forget C++ is case sensitive, so it has to be with the same uppercase and lowercase. Now let's try to run it. Compiling and running. Here we go. Let's see what our program evaluated. Not equal, that's it. 76 does not equal 50. Or the variable player guess does not equal the number. So therefore, this part of the program happened and this one did not. And of course the program is waiting for me to type something in. So let's just type something in and be done with it. Let's try to make them equal and see if it actually works. Now both of them, we know that they're equal, and let's see if it's working. Here we go. They are equal. Here's another comparison operator you can use. This is called more than. What this operator does is it tests if whatever is to the left is more than whatever is to the right, and it will yield for us either true or false. So for example, in our case, when they are both 76, 76 is not greater than 76. So this will turn out to be false because player guess is not more than the number. And let's check that out right now. Here we go, not equal. Then finally, let's have a peek at the less than operator, which checks to see if this that's to the left is less than what's on the right. Don't forget the direction of operators. This will not test if the number is less than player guess. This will test whatever's on the left against whatever's on the right, and according to that return evaluate for us either true or false for our if statement. And in our case again, this will probably evaluate as false.